today as commissioners and members of Scott Township. We ask that we are ever mindful of each other, to our community that we hold dear, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, acceptance, understanding, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon what future generations can build with confidence and build proudly. Let us continue to strive to make a better neighborhood, a better township, and a better world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, roll call, Denise, please.
Commissioner Judici.
Here.
Commissioner Myers.
Here.
Commissioner Costello. Commissioner Seibel.
Here.
Commissioner Sorkin.
Here.
Commissioner Delfonso.
Here.
Commissioner Sedlak. Commissioner Gasta.
Here.
Commissioner Altman.
Here.
2 absent.
Thank you. All right, I will start with public comments on any agenda items listed below. Again, the purpose of the public comment is to hear the comment and have the public express their views. Yep, we'll move ahead. Planning, zoning, and code enforcement. We have our code enforcement update. Do we have Mark online? No.
We do not.
All right, maybe he's running late.
Yeah.
Michelle.
I don't have any.
Where's Michelle?
Well, we'll just skip the code enforcement update. Should we skip code enforcement altogether until we see if he's?
Yeah, I would plan all of that till Mark gets back.
All right, solicitors report for
No,
tonight.
no report tonight.
All right, engineers report, Marie.
Wow, that's.
I know,
Nice.
sorry for jumping.
Catching me off guard, huh? Okay, first item on the report is to discuss revisions to Columbia Gas Permit Number 1 on Lindsay Road. An additional street opening near 2539 Old Green Tree Road. So Columbia Gas reached out last week regarding the need for an additional excavation on the opposite side of Green Tree Road on the Public Works side. They need the excavation for completion of their taking the existing line out of service, putting the new line in service. So we have updated permit number 1. That is for your review. There is no action to take other than approving it and signing the permit document. And then we can distribute that. So we can put that on for the next meeting unless you want to do that now and ratify.
Fine, giving them the go ahead if it moves the project along and gets us paved out there.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
I have no objections to that.
Okay, I will communicate that. I'll have it signed and then we can move that along.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Everyone's nodding. Yep.
Awesome, thank you much. The next item is to discuss rejection of the bids received, which would be the base bid, add alternate 1 and add alternate 2 and add alternate 3 for the Bower Hill Road Sidewalk Replacement Project. That would be phase 2. We will review this project again for next year's budget. Reason for rejection is we received 2 bids. The one bidder was not PennDOT pre-qualified. The low bidder had submitted his documentation to PennDOT for pre-qualification and has not yet received a response. So at this point, I think we just reject the bids. We'll reevaluate that next year.
The state road or county road?
County. But he is PennDOT pre-qualified because of your grant requirements.
Oh, okay.
That's a requirement of the grant.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's gonna sit as is.
Okay, that-
There,
So this is the section, Stacy, from Vanadium up toward the hospital.
Oh, yes.
So this is, yeah, no, this isn't the rework on, the rework for phase 1 is in with the road program.
Okay.
And that's the part that's, I'll say opposite of most of the houses, right? About the hill would be on the left.
Yes, it is, yeah, it's on the hospital side.
Got it.
We will include that bid rejection motion on the next meeting. Next up is to discuss approval of partial payment number 1 submitted by M&B Services, $106,808.40 for stored electrical materials for the 2025 traffic signal improvements project. Bower Hill Road, Painters Run Road, and Bower Hill Road, Rock Hill Road. So contractor has asked for payment for stored materials, which is permitted under the contract documents. He is still awaiting the mast arms, which have a quite lengthy lead time on them. So I would ask that this be placed on the agenda for consideration at the next meeting.
Like every time we do one of these, we're always waiting on the mast arms.
Always.
Yeah.
Remember, PennDOT changed the requirements on the mast arms too, so is it?
Yep. Okay. Next item is to discuss the request for proposals issued for radon testing as required by Allegheny County for the Scott Park Lodge ADA doors. So we did send out, I believe, 4 requests for proposals for radon testing, did not get any response. So we are in the process of following up with the bidders or prospective bidders to try to get some information for our next meeting. We will include that back on the meeting agenda. Hopefully we will get something. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Are there any co-stars vendors that could do that?
New requirement
It's
Yes.
last year.
yes,
That's crazy.
but it's for door replacement.
West Mifflin, same thing, they did door replacement. Because we were going through it at Shaycock, some of the projects, and Dan Davis said, hey, you better look in the radar. I think I even mentioned it to Denise. I said, we're gonna have a problem with this because it wasn't included in their grant initially. So they had to go back and find funding or get more, I forget what happened.
Hey, this is Michelle.
We know.
Oh, well, no, I just wanted to like kind of like pop in. Can that be done through co-stars though? Like, because
You
radar
mean the-
testing is like kind of what you have done when you have your house purchased, and I know there's people that do it.
I'm not aware of any co-stars vendors, but we can look into it. I don't know. Kevin, do you know any?
Usually good, not service.
That's okay.
I just didn't know because I know that like when we purchased our house, we had to have the radon tested,
We have the same,
and it seems like that's something that people do.
yeah, we have
I
the
don't
same.
know who does it.
It's easy for houses to get it. At commercial buildings, we
Yeah.
haven't been successful. It's the people that the communities have seen that we send it out to, but they I don't know if they don't want to bid because it's a call project type thing. They think there's a lot of red tape there. We run into the same thing sometimes on asbestos testing, so we're just gonna go back out and revisit it. We have a bigger question on nobody can answer yet for us. What if we get a positive test?
Yeah.
And then what's the steps to correct it on the building that we're only changing like those 2 doors?
So is this any
Ask us that, and I said,
any building permit in the county now triggers a radon test? Is that what it is, or how
I
does?
don't know, but this particular grant, it's listed now that you have to do it.
Oh, as from the grant, not the permit.
So with respect to residential versus commercial, how much more would you anticipate a radon system like costing? Like I know when I bought my house, it was a few $100s and it came out of closing.
Yeah, our concern is the size of the building.
Right.
Putting it in a building. Some of these are 2 doors on a building is 20,000 square feet. Do we have to just rig on for that area? So that's kind of the next shoe.
Would
The
make,
drop in my mind is as long as we get negative tests, it won't matter. As soon as we get a positive test, then we're about to have a conversation with exactly what that means. But the first step is to find people that will be interested in bidding it since this is a new process. So we're reaching out to those folks now, like Bernie said, try to get interest in it. Because again, it's for doors and an entrance way. The other problem we had is the buildings are 24/7. Somebody brought this up the other day, and you have to be able to close the area down. So we haven't solved that yet either. So that may be too why it's easy on a home. It's not easy on this
Yeah.
building because the police are here and they're 24/7. So
I'm sure we could find a day off season that, it's whatever the period is, 3 days or whatever.
But so I think that's why there's some reluctance on her part too. They just don't want to be involved because it's going to be complicated. So
Allegheny County came up with this requirement. Do they have people that do the testing? I mean, did they check out the availability? Yeah,
good idea.
out of Bob Palmasino, would he have any direction on that?
Okay.
I mean, seems kind of, okay.
Yeah. Hope they would have somebody to refer you to. The next 2 I can kind of lump together. The grant openings that are in play right now, we have the 2026 CFA Multimodal Transportation Fund Grant. That grant closes July 31st. We have the 2026 GEDTF grant that's open. That closes August 14th. And we also have been notified that the CFA LSA grants are opening September 1st. Their due date is November 30th. So we have 3 different grant opportunities that are open right now. So just kind of spitballing between Kevin and I, the multimodal grant, they will consider funding road improvements. So we were going to put together like a road program job for that submission. Also about possibly the sidewalk and the stairway adjacent to Glendale Hose Company #1. That's been the subject of quite a bit of discussion between myself and Scott.
Is that the one across the street from it?
No, if
Going up it by the wall?
yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
Bert and I were talking about that too. It's
Yeah.
really crumbling.
It has been, and Scott has reached out to a few contractors for numbers. They're coming back with numbers like $10,000 or $12,000, and that is, I just don't think that is the way to go. That needs a permit, that needs an engineering design on it, those stairs hold the roadway up. And you have that massive retaining wall on the opposite side and a house. So I think there's a lot in play there. So that's something we could consider.
For the roadway, could it be another portion of Lindsay?
Yes,
Just to
it
keep
could
moving,
be.
we've got momentum on this now.
We could include Lindsay, we could include asphalt work. Then whatever we want to include, we're gonna submit something. For GEDTF, thinking maybe the next roof portion of the municipal building, the admin building roof that we did not construct this year. Another one for Duncan Way, roadway stabilization, because that project is going to require some funding. And we could go for the next phase of North Ren. LSAs, as I mentioned, we just got notified of that. So maybe between Denise and I, we can dream up some more submissions. But I just want to let you know that these are coming. Some of them have due dates, like for example, the MTF grant, due date of July 31st. So we were going to have to scramble and come up with some options. There's things that you would need to approve at the next meeting for submission of these grants. I just want to make you aware of that there will be something on your agenda. Definitely a road project, likely something for those fire department stairs. And anything else you guys think of that you may want to submit.
So the stairs they're on fire department property? But
They
they're
are.
Supporting the roadway.
They
and the
are.
house. Okay.
So here, I can show you a photo. A while ago, Scott reached out for a property survey. He felt that, so he felt that, those steps, he didn't think they were on fire department property, but it turns out they're the responsibility of the fire department. So he became concerned because they are quite the liability.
If something happens.
See these? So if you scroll down, sorry, I don't have the way to.
That's okay.
So this pretty line comes right in here. This is house, these are stairs, that's a sidewalk.
Not
That,
just sidewalk.
this is the retaining wall adjacent to the fire hall parking lots over here. So he keeps trying to close these off, and the residents that live in this house keep trying to use them.
Because they park down there.
Yeah, I think they park up here and they walk down.
It's just a safety.
Yeah, so it's these people down here. So this retaining wall holds the parking lot, the steps are here. So it's,
I was thinking of the wall where
Is
the
there,
brothers were the fences,
Mhm.
because that sidewalk is crumbling. The curbs are half missing.
okay,
He said Bert said he was putting something together with the sidewalk to get a price for next year and for the budget and for the I guess the wall behind it.
okay, well, I don't know anything about that
Okay,
one, that's first I'm hearing.
talking about.
But yeah, so this is, I mean, And I guess we can discuss, who the applicant is for this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ron's recommendation was for us to get clarification from the state. Since it's a state application, maybe they can answer that for us.
And if not, I would do it anonymous, but I would make sure in the application we said, you know, we would set up the scenario because if something went wrong, we would get sued.
Right.
So, I mean, just so, even if we did our name, I would put the mention in about the fire department, just so they can't say, oh, you're doing this fraudulently.
Right.
But first I would ask the state to see.
If the application is prepared for the fire department as the applicant and the township just administers it, is that appropriate?
I mean, it's holding up, if they're, I think that would be a possibility, yeah, if the fire department, if it's in the fire department's name and we're administering it with the idea that we want to make sure it's right so the road doesn't collapse.
Or if the fire department grants the portion of the property to the township,
If they gave us a construction easement or something?
or just a easement of
Just an easement in general, yeah.
Okay.
Do we forever want to be responsible with maintaining that though? I don't mind going in on a grant to help a fire department out, maintain a portion of their building, but accepting that maintenance into the future is
right. Yeah.
a different discussion to me.
And I think we can work through that with,
Yeah.
determine, you know, if,
I'm just saying right now.
Yeah, there's no perfect answer.
I'm not jumping on board to signing up to taking property, but
sure.
other than that, I'm happy to work through it.
Great. And if you guys have any other suggestions for projects, especially for LSA, because we have a little bit of time on that one. Like I said, the multimodal, we're gonna have to act on that at the next meeting. The GEDTF is due August the 14th, so I think we can act on those at the, at your August meeting, the first meeting, which would be the 11th. So, you know, we can work on those, and obviously we have a little bit of time for LSAs, but definitely want to get some submissions in.
LSA, we did not get the the brine tank.
No,
So should
No.
we revisit that again?
it's something we can put
Because we have the nice
that.
salt shed, we could
Yep.
add that on.
Good idea.
Good idea.
Yep, we can do that.
Okay. Work through those, and just a couple little things to add, just, these will be on your agenda for, the next meeting. For PRP Phase 1, that's your LM&R project. We do have, a final change order and a final payment request, so we'll be able to act on those at the next meeting. We can close out LM&R, which will be great. And that's it. Oh, and we did have a payment request from Cronin for C53, which we're still reviewing, but that should be done for the next meeting.
C53.
The sewer project.
Sorry, okay, thank you.
You got too much going on.
That's
Don't worry about
the
it.
Oaks.
I get
Yeah,
confused too.
okay.
No, that's the sanitary sewer lining and spot repair. Cherry Dell.
Cherry Down, okay.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna back up the code enforcement. Mark, we're gonna do our code enforcement update.
June 2026, we issued 33 building permits with an estimated cost, total estimated cost of $2,015,626. The majority of that is for the Manor Oak mixed-use building, the shell only of that. That portion was $1,570,000, let's call it, of the 2 million. So we will see, also the fit outs will come in as separate building permit application. They've got their tenants on that they're getting show.
Is the second floor built out as well? Or that's a 2-story, isn't it? That's only single, okay.
Is that the one where they thought there was some kind, was it fast casual restaurants or something on the outsides, and then like an office or something in the middle?
Production bakery, discussion of some sort of health.
Okay, it was 3 different,
Yes.
Okay.
Uses, they just haven't finalized those.
Got it. Thank you, Mark.
When they came in, they came in the application, I asked, they haven't finalized it.
Would any of that trigger the same traffic impact that we had with Starbucks?
No, I don't believe so, because some of the things that we're looking at here, one, there's no drive-through. Two, is we're gonna compare it to the maximum that was there previously.
Yeah.
So it really won't increase. If anything, it'll be less.
The drive-through was the biggest part of that. You're right. Yeah. Okay.
Particularly Starbucks.
Yeah.
For notices of violation, we issued 81. The majority of those, again, for high grass, 29 were high grass, 20 were property maintenance violations. And the next would be sanitation approach violations of 13, miscellaneous elements. Magistrate hearings, I attended 17 of those. Rental inspections, I attended 26. Building inspections, I inspected 11, and we did not receive any right to know requests in G.
Oh, exciting.
Good news.
Step, discuss appointing Dr. David C. to the zoning hearing board for an additional term beginning August 1st, 2026, expiring August 1st, 2029. Go with that. Anything you want to add?
Just that, Dr. Seigert's been on that board for a number of years. He brings a lot of knowledge and strength to that board. So, good.
All right, we'll put that on for a vote. Discuss advertising an ordinance to regulate portable storage containers as recommended by the planning commission. We've talked about this briefly, but.
We talked about it briefly before, but I just want to remind everybody that the reason that we were doing this is not to discuss the regulating of zoning ordinance already regulates what can and cannot be done with these dumpsters. What we are simply doing is creating this ordinance so that the police can also, because right now they cannot enforce the zoning ordinance. So that's the only reason for this. We're actually reiterating a lot of what's in the zoning ordinance in this, so that it matches. We don't have to change the zoning ordinance. We only have to create this one.
So Mark, you're saying that this is almost like a duplicate of the zoning ordinance. However, does that mean that the zoning ordinance still eliminates Ward 1? Pretty much, because there's no, by the standards on this ordinance, there's no way anybody in Glendale could have a dumpster. So if they were getting remodeling done, a roof, renovating a house, they have no way of putting anything over there.
I wouldn't say every, the majority I would say fall within that. But there are other alternatives to having a dumpster. For instance, I put a new roof on my house. They came with a dump trailer attached to a vehicle. And everything coming to, and they haul it away. That will be permitted in total because that is licensed.
Yeah, but that also takes up more parking spots. It's bigger to get around, and not every company offers that.
Right.
Dumpsters are actually taller.
Well, the ones I looked up, there was 8 yard and 12 yard, and they were no taller than 5 feet, which is shorter than I am. And the biggest one, the 12 yard being 10 foot wide or 10 foot long and 5 foot wide, is still smaller than a truck.
The majority of the complaints that we get from residents when somebody does put one in is that they are difficult to see because of their height, because of the depth. Even when people are parking next to them, they don't want to. Can't see if cars are coming, and they can't pull out, to see if anybody's coming the other direction. So it really creates a big headache. If you think about Magazine Street, imagine the amount of traffic that Magazine Street gets. If you stuck a dumpster on either side of the road, what kind of traffic that would, congestion that would cause.
Right, but even if it was a truck, I could not see around the truck to get, if there was a car coming. Like if I pull in front of my house and there's a truck in front of me, even a pickup truck, I can't see anything coming around it. Well, that's what I was gonna say, even if they limit the size the amount of time it could be there and reflectors on all four sides, you know.
Say, that's not what this would. If you want to have that discussion, that's a revision to the zoning. We have to go back and do that.
Okay, so my question there is, does the zoning ordinance require you to have permits and make application with
It's not.
a site plan, which is very difficult for residents to do? You know, my main concern is with waste management. The newest waste management contract has made waste disposal very difficult in the township. People struggle with the bulk pickup, the one item per week. What does that mean? Is that one bench? Is that one extra bag outside? I mean, there's a lot of confusion. Some drivers will take everything. Some drivers stick to the letter of the law and only take one item and leave everything else, usually the lightest item, and leave everything else behind. So we're further making it even more difficult to clean up and sanitize the township. And I'm very concerned that I would have to submit a site plan to put a bagster on my property.
It does seem like a lot for something as simple as, all right, I want to clean out my garage this weekend. I want to get a dumpster delivered in my own driveway. I can understand if I've got an issue like, say, Eileen, where I don't necessarily have anywhere on my property to put it. I shouldn't just go and put it on my street without asking. But my own
Okay.
private property that's not in my yard. One second, Michelle. I'm just putting it in my driveway and it's in and out within 48, 72 hours, and it's not there for weeks on end, collecting, stinking, leaking, whatever else have you, creating an eyesore in my, area. I should be able to do that.
Michelle?
And my concern is that this puts an undue financial burden on just one population in Scott Township, because not every contractor has the access to a roll-off dumpster. So now, instead of me being able to accept that $6,000 roof bed, I got to go with somebody with $10,000 to meet code standards.
No, I mean,
By
I will-
having, but yeah, if I can't have a dumpster because it's not allowed in Glendale, I got to accept somebody with a higher bid because they bring a truck.
Do you know that for a fact, or are you just saying?
No, but it could. Do you know that it's cheaper to bring a truck instead of a dumpster? Or
Yes.
the contractor's not going to charge me more?
That's why they
I think
did
it puts a, I think it puts a variance on the, on the, I think it's an undue hardship for the people in Glendale.
I think the bottom line is, no matter what happens, we want to make the best decision for our residents and the safety of the residents around. So no matter what, it's going to go through somebody who's going to help make that decision as far as what they're going to get, how it's going to be handled, and it's going to be regulated. Right? We're going to have the police involved. So we won't have this bag dumpster sitting in someone's yard. That's included, correct?
the bag dumpsters are the biggest issue that we have that we need these for is when they show up in the roadways.
Yeah. And again, my thought is we want to do what's best for the safety of the residents.
I agree with that. And the bag dumpsters are a problem. I have 3 of them in my ward that have been there, in my opinion, too long. And this would make that more enforceable because you'd have a permit with clear and set dates.
Yeah, the permit's not necessarily my concern. I mean, even a nominal fee for it, I can understand that. Because you want to watch out for it. You've got to be able to track it and see how long something's actually there. Because if not, then you're just going by who's complaining, and that's not really fair.
You can nitpick at this all you want. And, at my house, my driveway's thin, fitting a dumpster in there is a pain in the butt. And if I put the dumpster there, I can't put my cars there. So then my cars are out in the road. So it's not just Glendale. It's going to affect a lot of different residents, but this is all for a good cause. This is it. We have the right intentions here.
And I see that, Stace, but like Mark said, like 90% of Glendale it would affect. You could go up the road and probably count a dozen driveways in Glendale altogether.
But again, you want to do what's best for everybody else around it, and you try and figure out the best solution.
Right. But I don't want to eliminate them either.
Well,
I mean, that's not fair to them either. You figure most of the people that are working on their homes, our homes in Glendale are the oldest in the township. So yes, they might want to do some work, and we're going to hinder them from doing something and improving their property, which improves our tax base and improves the look of the neighborhood.
Mark, is there a way to put some sort of variance language in here if they can prove a hardship, as Eileen is stating, that we could?
Typically, you have the authority to grant variances. That's only the zoning hearing can do that.
Maybe this needs to be revisited from zoning then.
But the whole purpose of the ordinance is so that the police can investigate and take care of it, not to revisit, not to redo the zoning ordinance.
Right, that was the intent. It's only so we can enforce what's already in the zoning. Well, it's already in there that you can't have one in the street anywhere in the township.
I think what we do is, again, we should adopt this now so our police can handle the ones that they can currently deal with. But I do think we need to look at possibly how we're going to do this through zoning. Maybe we come up with some special criteria for areas of our township that if it has to be on the street, and you've proven that case to our, the administrative person in front of it, okay, here's what the size has to be. It can be no wider than 5 feet, no taller than this, only there for 24 hours or whatever we can come up with. It has to have these reflectors and things. I've seen that in other ordinances. I don't know how tight. I don't drive a whole lot in Glendale, so
yeah,
I've never come across it and how truly bad the conditions would be. I'll leave that to expertise.
Can I throw another little monkey wrench into this scenario? Let's say somebody hires a contractor that, they are doing all the siding and they bring a roll-off dumpster and they meet the criteria and they do everything. And then the contractor quits midway and that dumpster is there. Are we citing the homeowner?
Yes.
Yeah.
How is that fair when they don't own the dumpster? They don't have access to have the dumpster removed.
They had the wherewithal to hire a contractor. They can hire another contractor to remove that one. I'm not saying we don't work with the homeowner under a situation like that, but ultimately they're the only party that we have any ability to go after.
And I've also contacted the various dumpster companies when they do put in the road. And I've told them they have to have them out of there by that night. And it made it happen. They take my word for it.
All right, so are we all understanding that we want to put this on for a vote to advertise that we're not changing what's already in existence? We're just allowing the police to enforce this.
Is what is in existence, having
Jane.
to,
Jane,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm really sure exactly what is in existence now. But all of the drawings and color photographs and all those kinds of things are part of that ordinance and that will be included in this if we.
No, that would be new.
Yeah, well, that doesn't.
That's I still think we have more work to do here.
Yeah.
That's why.
And I guess, and I'm thinking too about people that just walk, they buy a house, they bring in a pod, they're trying to get in their furniture in and they are all of a sudden showing up in the township and then they find out that, oh, well, you had to have a permit, you had to have this, and they have no control over maybe when the pod is delivered. I mean, you have no days to kind of get your things in and get the other people get their things out and whenever they're moving in and out. I mean, it seems like an issue.
I think this is more impactful than we think it is. I wasn't even thinking about pods until Jane just mentioned that. I mean, that a lot of people.
And pods, you mean that's somebody else's property. You can't just hire another contractor to come move a pod.
Right.
And like I had a pod on my street, I'll say for maybe 2 weeks. There's a young couple and family moving out. So I mean, it wasn't a problem. It was in their driveway, but it was there. They didn't think anything of it.
We haven't had too many pods show up in the street. I can think of one at the time I've been.
I guess I had that big one in Glendale this year. Earlier this year.
well-
Remember the one on Press. Or on Bluff, I'm sorry, Bluff.
Seeing, and especially Glendale, you have a lot of people moving in and out constantly. And that's an issue.
And my follow-up to that would be like, if I get my driveway sealed, I'm not allowed to, drive on my driveway for several days. And, I always do the right thing and notify the police so they know that my car is going to be out on the street. I have that ability. as do all residents of Scott Township.
Yes.
But, you know, is there something we can put into effect with regards to something like that with the police department? Because we do have an ordinance between, 2 and 6, no parking on the streets, 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And with that being rarely enforced, I'd like to see that enforced just as much. But there's also dispensation for people that can't park in their driveway for getting, I think if you get cement poured, it's a really long time before you can drive on it, I believe.
Mark, the main concern here that I'm hearing from you is that this is items in the street.
Right.
So if it's a portable bagster in a yard, we're not it still potentially violates the zoning ordinance, but we're not worried about the enforcement of that. We're worried about the enforceability.
Time is the issue with those.
Right.
I guess what's the reason we want a site plan is to with drawing the scale and whatnot if it's on somebody's property. Again, a street, yeah, you're planning on putting it in the street. I want to know exactly where you're putting it in the street at. That's something we should check.
It's on their property.
Okay.
Well, the street wouldn't be on their property anyhow. That's our property.
Oh.
You could tell them, try to be cognizant of your neighbors, but you couldn't tell them they couldn't park a truck or whatever on the street, so that's.
I don't follow.
You're saying that you want to make sure if it's on the street, like I said, in Glendale, you would have to put it on the street, but
It's. That's why.
But when someone applies for a permit, do you not go down and look at the property and see where they're actually planning on putting it? Or
You don't require them to get a permit.
okay.
And I don't think we could do I think this is going to generate a lot of permits, and I don't think we would have the ability to physically check each one.
Check each one.
I think this is going to be.
If anything, you'd get a permit for anything that needs to be on the street.
That's what I'm thinking is portable container permit street, portable container permit property.
Anything over 7-day period needs a permit.
Yeah, and
Whether it's on your street or not, in your yard, I don't know. Well, whatever day everybody feels comfortable with. I don't know. 7's too few, too many.
7/14. So yeah.
And
I'm okay with anything on the street having to have a permit, including my car, because I do believe that when I've done that in the past, I go down to the police department, let them know my car is going to be on the street. And I want to say they've given me a tag or something to that effect. And maybe that's the other part we should be enforcing.
We can even do that online now.
Right.
Yeah, because that is an enforceable law.
Overnight parking is online.
That's what I mean. That chief was very proud about getting that on there because it was nice and convenient for everybody.
Is it something that is print outable that you
No.
put on your dash, so you don't like it? If one of our officers is on patrol between 2 and 6 a.m., he doesn't necessarily know that
It flags your plate.
Got it.
Just to give them
They scan your plate.
license plate.
They could have a ticket.
Well, can we do something like that for this ordinance as well then?
Do we want to send
Well,
this back to planning with some kind of guidance saying, hey, we'd rather see permits on the street and then permits for anything on, your property that's over a length of time, whatever that is, give us some options or whatever you find is reasonable, recommend. I don't know what are your guys' thoughts.
I agree with that. It still doesn't fix the Ward 1 concerns.
Well, no, it does because it would allow for a permit for on the street, but it has to be, and we can, again, with that, what size is going to be permitted on the street would be part of what's going to be allowed on there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that would be flagged to the address anyway, which once again would generate the fact that no, they've applied for a permit. It can be there for another 3 days. Or however many days are left in however long they need it to be there within the 7-day period. Or however long we decide. We could make it 48 hours.
This is still talking about changing the ordinance.
Zoning ordinance.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Yep,
even,
sorry.
even this changing, I'm talking about with the. I mean, the permit, I don't like how the permits are in this one that we're considering passing or advertising next week. A permit, yes, I'm fine with, but not necessarily for everything. Again, I don't think I should have to get a permit for just putting something in my driveway for the weekend.
Sam, the only thing that I look at though, is, and you know, is the length.
Mhm.
We need some way of being able to control the length of time, and that's why the permit.
That's tough.
And if you remember, one of the things that you asked for, the board asked for was that if they get it out of there within 7 days.
Right.
Their fee is actually returned to that. So
Okay.
it would be
Correct. Correct.
to encourage that to occur.
And I am with Mark on that. I think like just because you say you're gonna have it out of there within 48 hours or 7 days or however long, like unless we have a permit and a filing date, as it were, to go back and look at, it's kind of arbitrary because I might not notice that my neighbor has had a dumpster for the last airplane. For the last 8 days in his driveway. And then I finally get around to saying, hey, my neighbor, there's this dumpster and it smells like, whatever. And it's been 8 days, but I don't know if they have a permit, don't have a permit. And even if they have we're planning on doing it in 7 days or 9 days.
All right, what is the worst thing that happens? So what if we agree to vote yes, to advertise the ordinance to regulate the portable storage containers? And
Yeah.
I know, so we're just gonna move forward with the advertising. So what if we adopt this and it's a mitigated disaster? The phone's ringing off the hooks, we're all getting complaining. We could go back and change it, right?
We'd have to advertise again to change
Okay.
it. You would have already
You know-
spent $600 to advertise it.
Well, my point is, I'm saying, are we making way too big of a deal of this? And we should just move forward with the advertising. And then this would give the police the opportunity to regulate this. And then if we want to dig into changing the zoning ordinance, we can do that. Second step.
My only concern with this in moving one way or the other is the zoning ordinance was updated in 23 and then prior to that in 15. With the idea in mind is that we didn't want this, that this was a problem. There was an issue when I first came on board here with this, and is that a liability that we as a township want to take on by allowing it in the street?
I want everyone to be happy, but I think we should vote to advertise and move forward with it. But
I haven't seen containers in the street enough to really,
that's why I said I think we're making too big of a deal out of this.
then don't move forward with it. If we don't have a problem with containers in the streets, it's not an everyday problem we deal with. We're making this an everyday problem for everybody else.
It's at least once a month.
I mean, this is going to be a daily problem.
Why?
Because of the number of bagsters and things that I see in the township.
Okay. But isn't it a problem right now when they're sticking around too long?
Not denying that. I think there's more work to do here to
I agree.
make this better. I
Yeah,
don't
but we
want to spend money to advertise this.
And we have an ordinance, and even though it's not enforceable by the police department with said fines, it is enforceable by code enforcement.
Yeah, maybe we tag the bags that we see that we think are too long. We tag them, put a date on them, like chalking a tire for parking enforcement.
Denise suggested maybe forming a committee. Do you guys want to do that?
I think it's probably a good idea.
Steve, I
Questions resolved.
totally see where you're wanting to move this forward.
I think there's gonna be some unintended consequences that we're
Nobody can
not
agree with it.
necessarily thinking of, because while it might solve another problem, I think next Friday it's gonna add more to the daily load, because we're gonna be checking all the ones that we see that we might not have a permit for. It's just enough, not that you don't already have other things that you're checking for too, but
Mark's saying once a month. Right?
We just had one in your.
That's what, when I say we're making too big of a deal out of this, I think moving forward with this would be okay.
so if the problem is simply a dumpster in the street, is there not just a general ordinance or something from the vehicle code or that would be able to remove something from the street? Isn't that just a problem in and of itself? Isn't there already something that would be policing objects in the street?
I think that's something the chief would need to answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if not, couldn't we just simply make an ordinance, no placing objects in the street as opposed to
Yeah.
this? And then the enforcement is going to be kind of up to discretion, like, okay, we're only looking at dumpsters is the problem, not necessarily, I don't know if somebody puts a lemonade stand out temporarily, whatever it might be, at the end of your driveway or something, I don't.
The other item that I think you have to look at is the timing of the bagsters. I think you should also limit that instead of leaving that open.
I think that, yeah, that's totally different.
The other item.
I agree.
People have a problem with things being in the street and the police not being able to do something about it. I think there's gotta be a way to just address that problem, not necessarily specifically to dumpsters.
It might not
We
be.
need to address dumpsters.
The problem is if you don't require permits for bagsters, it makes the start date enforceability hard. But if you know you have a problem and you document it, then you have a date to go from. So even if we say 10 days, if it's been out there for 3 weeks, but we start the clock at 21 days, then okay, maybe they have 31 days, but it still moves it along. I don't know what the legal standing of that is, but you might miss a couple days up front. They might get a couple extra days out of you, but at least there's still something there.
And you're still able to enforce it and get it out of there once you know you're kind of aware of it.
I mean, the police cars have cameras. We could go back and the last time the police did a patrol on that street, we could see if it was there. I mean, we could put a camera on Mark's car.
And generally, it's a neighbor that's complaining about it. Chances are maybe there's a ring camera. They've got documentation of that too.
Yeah.
And discussion for another day though.
Yeah, because I would say that really complicates things now.
Yeah.
Doing video footage and.
I know, but it,
All right, so does the majority of the board feel that we don't want to move forward with advertising this right now?
I'm against it.
It doesn't seem like we're gonna have 5 on that one.
My suggestion is that this has gone to the planning commission twice.
No, we didn't go back. They tabled it and there was no discussion by the planning commission.
Okay, I mean, to move this along, should it go back to planning or should there be a committee of the board?
I really think the.
Well, if it goes back to planning, planning needs to address our concerns
Michelle,
specifically. Sure.
Mark, talk, thanks.
So first, we need to have the committee to establish the concerns, because what I'm hearing is a lot of back and forth. Yes, we realize Baxter's really not that big of a deal. And we also realize that sometimes they stick around too long. So how do we handle that?
can we send it to public safety?
That's no problem with public safety takes it, sure. But the key is to have, I envision that I still think a certain way on this, and it's no slight against the planning commission. But when we bring it up to the board, there are 4 or 5 different reasons. And so I think that the people, that a committee there, so they can look at it, mark it up ahead of time before the committee meeting or whatever, and then work it out, because in doing that, you may come to some compromise among yourselves on this.
That would be good. The committee could do that, and then we can take it back to the planning commission to revise what we have. Hopefully, it's not going to be hugely different, because then we'll have to go back and change the zoning ordinance. And that's something we won't even look at. If that's the case, that's the case, but that's what the board desires.
Yeah, or if it's simple, I'm just thinking that, I don't know if necessarily the planning commission gets it again, because again, normally they're not handling these matters, but if the I think it would be important to have the committee take a look at it, questions, potential language, things like that. And if they thought to take it back to planning after that, that's fine. I just don't want to see a situation where it goes back to planning and planning disagrees, or they're thinking you mean X instead of Y, and now we're doing a whole circle again. I mean, the reason why I said planning commission twice, I'm in someplace else where they're trying to pass one of these, and it's been back and forth between, they're planning 3 times, so I foresee this.
I'm hoping that I would get invited to the committee meeting and so there's at least some continuity. Hope that
You wouldn't have to be invited, you're a resident.
I would think you would be a key part of the committee.
Yeah.
Mark, has any of this been discussed with the chief of police? Since he would be the one that would be,
yeah, he might come back and say, I don't want to do it. Or he might come back and say, well, we already have this on books that we can enforce. Type thing, so yes.
Thank you.
Chief, did you have anything to add?
Off the top of my head, I don't know of anything. When there was an issue in the past, I know we were looking at vehicle code issues and whatnot. And I don't believe we found anything which kind of sparked this. And this is going back many years. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, Mark.
Yeah, it was actually 2019, I believe, when the incident occurred.
All right, so maybe if Matt agrees, involve Matt, Mark. And do you want to do public safety? Does that sound okay? Okay, you've been busy lately.
I have been.
You have been. All right, maybe sooner rather than later. Do you think we could pull something together back at the voting meeting?
Sure.
Or we want to shoot for August? August?
Yeah.
Denise is saying August.
Give yourself some
They're
time.
advertised meetings, you'd have to do.
August should be fine.
Okay. Sound all right?
So when is the say
Next,
First Tuesday in August, right? Or Monday or Tuesday. We can set it for either.
It'll be the 4th.
August 3rd or 4th. Which one, Kath?
I kind of have something going on the 4th, so maybe
August 3rd.
that's worse. I'll do the 4th.
Or September. I don't think this is all that pressing.
Yeah,
do you want to do that?
September would be perfect.
When's Labor Day?
so 7th,
Okay.
so
yeah,
It would-
not be around on 7th.
Yeah.
That's Labor Day. That's not the.
and the first Tuesday would be September 1st, actually.
So we could do September 1st.
Yeah. September 1st.
Would that be okay with you, Mark?
And I would like to just suggest to the board members to send the Public Safety Committee Chair a list of their concerns. If you're not going to attend the public safety meeting, so that Kathy has an active list she can work off of.
Does this have any effect at all on the fire departments or emergency medical?
Just their ability to get through the road.
Yeah.
So they'd be happy to get through the roadways without anything being in the way, I'm sure.
Yeah, if somebody put one of these like on the parklets in Orchard Spring, trash wouldn't be able to get through, public safety wouldn't be able to get through. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a huge concern, but
I don't think it requires their attendance. If they'd like to come
Okay,
and
that's what I
voice
was-
their opinion, they're more than
that's what I
welcome.
was thinking.
I wouldn't say, hey, you gotta lose another night at home for this kind of a meeting.
yeah, the only thing I think emergency management would be concerned with is storm cleanup. Because these can be used for that purpose.
Okay.
The other issue though, I think we would have the most trouble with emergency vehicles getting through if there are roads they feel that absolutely not, we would never get through. Despite
Yeah.
With that block traffic for it shut down, that we need to know that, and that needs to be something that's completely excluded if the decision is to move forward and allowing them to street.
I think in that case, Mark, I mean, if you look at the 8 yard and the 12 yard, they're only 5 feet wide, so that's no wider than a car. So you can limit the size in Glendale, what they have. And even the wides are a little bit wider, so that's something you might have to look at. But you could also limit how far they are from neighboring driveway or a corner. Make sure they're so far in from, 10, 15 feet in from a corner. Trust me, I've been looking at it and taking it all.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of parts of these.
There is.
I don't think
I thought them all.
All right, so public safety meeting September 1st, that's at 7:00. Right,
Right.
all right. Mark, anything else for tonight?
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. All right, we're back on schedule with standing committee report finance. Sonia, we're gonna take that tonight.
Tom's on vacation. Discuss allotment request from Bar Hill Fire Department for their 2026 approved budget allocation of $50,407. Denise, I think that's what it is in a budget, right? That's all been budgeted for?
Yep.
And we usually do that after, I guess, we start collecting real estate taxes, right? So we have the money. So if there's any discussion on the matter, if not, then we'll put it on next meeting for a vote.
All right, anything else for tonight, Dawn?
As far as finance, no.
Okay, thank you. Standing committee report, public safety.
Thank you. Discuss the adoption of a resolution prohibiting parking on Spicknard Street on both the east and west sides from Magazine Street extending 70 feet south and on the cul-de-sac on Orchard Spring Road on the south side encompassing the addresses of 29 through 39 and on the north side encompassing addresses 124 through 132. This parking prohibition shall be applicable on Mondays only from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. to allow for unobstructed collection of refuse.
Are we good with all that?
I think we can take Orchard Spring out. I've been watching it the past couple weeks. Nobody's been parking there. I think the message was received. I talked to a couple of the residents who got the letter. They're fine with it. And I think it was just somebody early in the morning pulling their car out before the garbage trucks came through. So again, not to overcomplicate things, but I think we can limit it just to Spicknard, which is actually a much narrower street as well.
So we're gonna remove the cul-de-sacs on Orchard Spring Road.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
All right. So we're good to move forward with that?
Sure. Sure we do.
I can do it. Okay.
Just ready for adoption then at the next meeting? Okay, thank you. Could we put it on the agenda?
Yep. Okay. All right, you skip 7A.
Chief update.
I'm sorry, pardon me?
Chief's
7A, Chief's update.
the Matt's update.
You
The
skip
agenda.
Matt.
You're saying you skip Matt, 7A.
Right, okay. Waiting here.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Hello, how are you?
All right. So for June, we had 776 calls for service, 435 reports, 22 citations, 7 arrests. Officer Rzuski started June 22nd and is currently in the first phase of field training. He's doing a great job so far. Commissioner Sedlak requested that I share the results of a speed study conducted on Shady Knoll. The speed sign was in place from June 8th through June 28th, so 20 days. Over that 20-day period, there were 8,686 vehicles that registered speeds. Of that 8,686, 8 vehicles traveled at an enforceable speed in the 35 to 40 range. Even though it's only 8 out of 8,600, just based on that roadway itself, Officer Heinman is going to give some special attention to that area to address the speeding concern there. The social worker currently has 25 cases, 14 of which she has closed, 11 she's still working on. And this will be a recurring theme until October. October 22nd at 6 p.m., we're going to have a program for seniors in the community to discuss fraud. We're doing this in conjunction with the district attorney's office, and it's going to be held in the community room. So please spread the word to your constituents, and we greatly appreciate it. That's all I have.
Now, what was the, I know you probably don't have the statistics for the one you put on Magazine Street, and I appreciate you putting it up there. I will tell you that the one that was 31 miles an hour was a e-bike.
Okay. We will pull we'll have to pull the stats on it, but.
Yeah, you can just send it to me. It doesn't matter, but I just wanted you to know that that one was an e-bike. I watched it go up. 31 miles an hour.
Wow.
Hey, Chief, Don Judici from Ward 8. I think about 7 weeks ago at the meeting, we discussed some additional signage on Raven Drive for the speed limits. Did anything ever come of that?
Given the recent circumstances, I believe that fell by the wayside, but we will make sure we get that worked on for sure.
Okay, because I'm starting to get phone calls from residents that attended that Zoom meeting, and they're kind of wondering. It seemed like it was pretty well cut and dry. You were going to get together with the director of Public Works, which is a problem now because he's not here. But and then get some signage up. So they're just wondering why it's taken so long. So I can just tell them it's going to be addressed. It fell through the cracks.
Yeah, that was the reason. I was working on it with Mr. Kelly, but we will.
Okay.
I'll discuss that with Bert.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else for public safety, Kathy?
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on, standing committee report for Public Works, Nick.
Sure. So we have discussed ratifying approval to advertise for an open position within the administration office for a public works director.
Any questions or comments on that?
I just have a couple. I had mentioned Crafton has an open position as well. And there's a couple of things in there like work order management and fleet management as well that I think we can incorporate into this a little bit before it goes out. I don't know if anybody else has anything else.
We can definitely add that. Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else for that? Okay, Environmental Committee, Sewer Committee, MS4 updates, Jane?
The Environmental Advisory Board is requesting that the board approve them applying for a grant, the Bureau of Mines, that would supplement the existing project that they've been working on in Scott Township that has been going on since November of 2024, that involves evaluating the streams and the mines and the discharges into Chartiers Creek, specifically Woodville and Scrubgrass. The grant is a design and development grant, and it will not require a township match. That's what I've been told. So the EAC is requesting that Denise be allowed to contact Becky Reichert, who's the Bureau of Abandoned Mine Reclamation Geologist, and she can talk with her and get the details regarding the grant. And if Denise feels that it's appropriate, maybe she could bring it back to the board for discussion, and then potentially, I guess there has to be a initial consultation request form that has to be submitted in August. So we have to decide by the end of July, hopefully, and have Denise reach out to Becky before then. That's it.
Okay, all right, you're good with all that?
Yeah, if the board does not disagree, I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with that because I will need time to work with the Bureau of Mines for that application.
I don't think anyone disagrees. All right. Jane, anything else for tonight?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thanks. Parks, Recreation and Public Relations, Eileen?
Thanks, Stace. Discuss the applying for a fitness grant opportunity through the National Fitness Campaign. This was something that John and Denise were working on, so I'm gonna let John take this.
Yeah, so over the past few months, we've had some contact with a place called National Fitness Campaign, NFC. They're basically a private group that puts out these fitness courts, provides some grant opportunities for them. And the fitness court you can see up here, up there, it's kind of their proprietary design. It's called Circuit Training Center. So you do one station, move to the next station, the next, and the next. And it is meant to use body weight rather than, actual free weights and such. So it's 32 feet by 35 feet, has to be outdoors. And to do it, you do need a flat space that's about 38 by 38 to put down a concrete pad, which we would pay for. So talking to them, we did identify a couple different spots that would be good for this. This is probably the best spot up here, corner of Park Drive and Fieldway by the tennis courts. It is flat. It's also a very prominent location, which could be important, we discover later. Now, apparently in the past, there has been some discussion about putting like a separate rental facility in that spot. So we did come up with an alternate location too. So this is right near there up by Walnut Shelter. That's at I think they call that Gaga Ball. Is that right? So this is an alternate location. We did also look at this location. However, there are utilities here. So this is the secondary one. Now, the issue with this, in addition to removing the court, NFC generally does not like to have playgrounds near their courts, just to keep kids off the equipment, to keep you be safe. So I was involved in this process up in McCandless. It's a fairly popular item up there, but the hurdle we would have to face now is cost, of course, as you might guess. All total, you're looking at about $200,000 for this right now. And we would be applying in their 2027 cycle, which the prices may go up a little bit. Now, they do offer a $30,000 grant towards the actual fitness court itself. But if you're looking at this, the court itself, 175 with the grant, it's down to 145. Concrete slab is probably about 25,000. And if we get professional assembly, that's about 30,000. Now, up at McCandless, we did have our public works crew do it, but again, it's kind of our choice as to whether we do this or not. So if anyone is interested in doing this, one of the things we need to consider is sponsorships or alternate grant funding to fill out the rest of that. Up at McCandless, we did get UPMC to actually sponsor a full. We have a UPMC hospital. So if we want to lean on some of our existing relationships, such as Bank or St. Clair, that is one option for sponsorships. And a really important part of this too is if we cannot come up with the rest of that funding, we can pull out without any penalty. So we're not going to get in trouble if we decide we can't do this. We are going to follow up meeting with them on Thursday to discuss how things go.
I have seen versions of this actually on hiking trails where it's one piece here, one piece a quarter mile down the road. Would there be any opportunity to do something like that, spread around the park, not all in one area?
Lisa and I talked about that.
So for this specific design, it would be all in one spot.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, again, this is their proprietary design. It's their own design. So there are other courts out there that can do that. And in Western PA, there are a few around here. McCandless is one, Cranberry, Ambridge. I think the first one they did in Western PA was up in Clarion.
And John, you were able to obtain funding,
Yes, we got funding.
so that it was covered at no cost to the municipality.
We did budget about 30,000 at the time.
So,
But yeah, UPMC made up the remaining 70,000.
Yeah, my problem would just be putting it in the front only because that is your only level spot. And sometime down the road, you may want to add another building there, which brings revenue into the township because our other two are rented constantly. So I think if you had a chance to put something there, that would be a level ground for you to put an additional building.
So you're thinking more than just a shelter, but an actual
Yeah,
closed.
they're building enclosed that they might be able to get grant money for or something where you could, it's gonna pull in more revenue for us.
Hi. I actually, funny thing is I brought this up to Denise today without actually reading the agenda. And this was something that I was going to bring up on Commissioner's request. I also wanted to remind people that we have that space above the ball field by the municipal building, which isn't anywhere near any kind of equipment that we were considering for the dog park, perhaps.
Yes.
Also, and only because I did look up, and believe it or not, if you look up adult playgrounds for fitness, that actually brings up like a bunch of companies that do this. So while there is that 38 build out, there are also companies that do standalone, but that would kind of, instead of it being 38, it could be 20 by 40 or 20 by 50 or something to that effect. It would give us that opportunity. But I do believe that this is something that we should really look into, because I've seen it. They in all kinds of cities that I walk in, they've got them all over, like just on various trails and it's great. And I see like the number of people that actually use it for fitness is amazing. And I do think that the people that I watched using it, because I wasn't going to do it, we're actually getting like a level of community where they didn't necessarily know who they were talking to. But they were, working in sets together on different pieces of equipment, and it is, on body weight. So there's no moving parts that disappear or get added to anything. So I think that I love the idea. And I also think we have the opportunity to be more creative in our solution on where we put it, not next to a playground. I agree 100%. But I do think we have the ability to have some good sponsorship from local companies. And I love it. Love it.
John, I have a question. What would the maintenance be on this, like on a yearly basis if they installed it?
There's not terrifically much maintenance. And there is, I believe, sort of like an ongoing warranty you have. So if there's an actual like damage to the equipment, you would order it through them. But it's really just, making sure it's clean, essentially.
There's no painting involved or?
Park equipment, I would think, just for adults instead, really, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what the surface was when I see the picture.
Yeah, I agree with Michelle. That is a good spot over there, and it's near the police station, so it also is being watched. I also agree with Nick that having it in different stations is a really cool idea too.
The only thing with the spot over here, it just may take a lot of earthwork to level it out, because that is pretty significant slope over there.
It is towards the top, Sam, but it levels out pretty decent in the bottom, which is probably the best place to, if you're gonna put it, you're gonna put it there anyway.
The other thing we had talked about, dog park, is parking. Everything else with respect to that, because that was one of the big hurdles, utilizing something over there. But yeah, I agree with not necessarily wasting the spot in front of the tennis courts, because it would be a great location for this, but I could see in the future something there if grant money were to come. It's not like we're gonna be able to budget to
Right.
build a new building for fun.
Anytime soon.
So again, do have a follow-up meeting with them this Thursday. I won't say around noon. So I don't know if there's any message I want to convey from the board to them or not.
I don't think.
We'll try to look for alternative locations.
Which my next question was, is there any room over at Spinner Field?
I mean, no, not really.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a minute, so I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be room over there.
And it would have to be like even down further beyond where that little park is, and that's
Where the PRP thing is.
right.
Yeah,
But,
no. Street. My only concern about putting it over here would be traffic to it. In the park, you'd have everybody going there anyway.
It would get more use.
Yeah.
And the next idea, even if we were to start with something like this, the private park, you can, as we're doing the whole walking plan, you can utilize that later on the gas stations.
Does the grant application allow for stations as opposed to that big slab?
No, unfortunately, again, you have the base slab. You either get this slab or there's a new design where it's twice as big.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
Yeah, we would be going to an alternate thing for the
I
little
think
stations.
that playground down there gets a lot of use, but it's small, but with us having the one at the top of the hill and the one behind the locust, do we really need a third one?
I mean, I was just kind of thinking with the stations, you could break it up into smaller projects, get smaller
Do a little bit.
donations. Do one this year, one next year, and kind of build it out as you go.
Sponsors.
Sponsor it, yeah. You put the sponsor right on it.
A super quick question. How much play do those, because I honestly don't know the answer. How much play do those shelters on the drive on the back side of the ball field get? Do those get rented out a lot?
The shelters do, but as I'm saying, that playground back there, I don't know how much play it gets, so. When I'm up there, I don't see anybody using it, but I'm not there every weekend when somebody's renting it.
Does the board want to look at the possibility of replacing that playground area with this fitness area? Because that's another option.
That would be, if it's big enough, would it be a big enough area?
Big enough without it, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have the.
Something the board wants us to look at.
I think if you can get the funding for it, it would be a bad idea, but
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm.
I think it would get more use.
70.
yeah.
On it, that's for sure. Maybe a little bit, but if we can get some funding. I
Have to have some maintenance on it.
You know, gyms in town that we could ask for some fundership spots or any other help.
I thought it might
Oh,
not want to support.
They're
it 'cause it
gonna
might take
wanna,
people
yeah,
away
they're
from
gonna wanna lead
I
a
mean,
class. Nah.
It is, but I don't know if that's gonna replace somebody's gym membership though either.
JCC.
But also we got Kroger moving in and they're big community sponsors everywhere they go.
It's true.
We can definitely, if that's where the board would like us to look, then that's something that we can go back to them on.
John, did you say this would necessitate removing these tennis courts back here? Or-
No, not-
Okay.
Just the playground.
It's
It would
understood.
just be right next to them.
Okay.
Yeah, the court that would need to be removed at the second location is that little,
The Gaga ball court.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone use it?
I think
Gaga
we
ball?
asked that the same when we moved it the first.
I know. Never seen anybody use it.
and one thing to think about, if we are thinking about doing the sponsorship route, visibility is gonna be important for them if they wanna be seen, so. Of
course.
And if back there would get that done.
Well, they could have a sign at the bottom of the Welcome to Scott Township Park. Our fitness area is provided by blah, blah, blah. Whoever that is right there on Lindsay.
I hear what the commissioners said about wanting to leave that area, the first area, open for building. But buildings can be built into hillsides. So actually on the other side.
That's true.
Access drive would be a great location for building.
That would violate our steep slope.
Yeah, you just want a steep slope permit.
It would not. We have exceptions to the steep slope that would allow that.
If it's not too high.
No, within 10 feet of your building. You can't disturb a steep slope.
Oh. I don't know how far
You know,
back that goes.
That's why Mark knows what he's doing. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I think we're gonna look.
Also, I don't
at
think
items here. We're gonna need to know where you guys would like it.
I think also one time, because this is the context of something else, whether the zoning ordinance applies to ourselves. I think we've had that determination that did not.
Need liability if someone gets hurt.
Well, we need liability if somebody gets hurt on the playground and breaks their arm.
Yeah.
Kids break their arm on playgrounds every day. We don't see anything
It's
from
certainly
that.
not anything more than any other physical activity we have here. It's not like axe throwing.
Yeah. I kind of like it back there only because of the privacy, but that's just me.
So that's the option that we can go back to them with and ask.
Actually, that privacy might work in our benefit because I think a lot of people don't work out because they don't want to be seen.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking too.
And I think I think I like that privacy as much as I'd love it to be visible from Green Tree Road heading down to the police station above right there by the police station. As much as I'd love the visibility, the privacy factor is nice because a lot of people don't go to the gym because they don't want people to see them. And I think it would get a lot of play from parents that drop their kids off for t-ball practice and just can't watch another one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can meet on Thursday, feel them out, and then, we can discuss this again.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Stephen.
Very nice.
Thank you, John. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much for all that work.
And the only other thing I have is Saturday is the Garfield movie, Saturday at 8:00. Hopefully the rain's gone by then.
You have one more?
Fireworks signs.
Discuss adding no fireworks sign. This was mine too. signage to the township parklets. I know we had an issue on Gregg Street the day before and the day of 4th of July. And the cars were covered in debris. So, and they're not supposed to be in the park anyhow after dusk, but they were, and it was late and they were still setting these off and people were very upset up there. And I'm thinking if it was done there, it's probably done in our other parklets. So I think just to give the police some teeth, it's to say, put signs up in each of the parklets saying no fireworks.
And the fine would be,
And and put the fine on the bottom.
Isn't it illegal to begin with, setting fireworks off in the
No,
township?
well,
Yes, it is. We voted on that 2 years ago. It's
The police-
absolutely illegal.
I think it is in every municipality. You can't just
No.
go set off fireworks.
In the state, it is, we adopt.
We voted on that like 18 months ago or like 2 years ago that we made it
Michelle.
illegal.
Only on private property.
right, and it has to be so many feet from a building. And in Glendale, there is no place in there that you're that many
City
feet away.
Not to do it at all.
Most of our lots are only 25 feet wide, so. And I think it's what, 100 or 150 feet from a structure. And so, I really would like to put some signs up in the parklets, just to make sure, but, I know one of the neighbors that had 2 vehicles covered with stuff asked
That has
the,
to be a lot of fireworks.
police if there was anything they could do about it, and they told them no, but they can't because it is on our property and it is,
The problem is catching the offenders.
well,
It's not easy to do.
yeah,
Especially on a weekend like July 4th, you're just not gonna get, they're gonna have to cruise around the park and they would be violating a whole another set of things in addition.
right. On the 3rd, I did notify them and they went up and within 10 minutes it was stopped, so.
All right, so unless, does everyone agree to put the signs up in the park lot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would think they would be up at.
okay. All right. Eileen, that's it then?
That's it.
Okay, all right, library liaison report, Dawn?
Okay. Let's see where I'm at. Where did I just passed it up? But Augusta Libraries required a request to receive a matching grant in the amount of $6,500 for 2026 library for their generated income. Put that up for discussion. I'm sure if I remember from the last meeting 2 months ago, they were well past their allotment to, apparently they have to raise so much money before they get to 6,500 and they were well past that.
Yeah, according to this, it was 7,000.
Yeah, I think they were
200.
well past that. So, I guess they're requesting the match. So if there's no other discussion on the matter, we could put that up for a vote at the next meeting.
Okay. Else for tonight?
That's nothing.
Okay, all right, for Shaycog,
Nothing for tonight.
thank you. Standing Committee Report Administration, we have the manager's update. Denise?
the 2026 road program is scheduled to begin in late July, early August. Once we get confirmed dates, we'll be putting that on the website for the board and the residents to be aware. Duke's root control was in the township last week and finished up on Friday. Budget season is already upon us, so the letters will be going out to the department heads in August to have their requests into me by mid-September. And I'm sure Commissioner Costello will be starting to set dates for everyone for the budget hearings.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thanks. Discuss the adoption of a policy for the use of AI tools by township staff. Do you want to talk about that a little
Sure.
bit?
So with AI upon us, I think that that's one thing that we have to address. We want to make sure that our employees are using AI to the best of the township's ability, I would say we want to make sure that it's not used for reports and things like that. It's really just if you maybe need help with a letter or something like that, that's fine. But we don't want AI generated reports. We don't want AI generated policies. We still want to make sure that we have that personal touch there. So we wanted to institute a policy on that to make sure that all of the employees are following the same guidelines.
You do have drafting reports or policies in acceptable use.
Drafting. They can assist with that, but their reports are going to have to come from them.
Okay. I mean, I think that would be my biggest concern because I've seen
Okay.
some terribly generated reports. I've played with it myself and it just is incredibly wrong.
Maybe we can enhance that paragraph specifically, that they can provide assistance. However, the report itself has to be.
For formatting of it.
Yeah, we can definitely modify that before the vote.
All right, any other questions on that?
Do you have any other municipalities you've seen examples from or gleaned examples from?
No, but I will, you have,
I didn't know if ICMA has started to tackle this yet, or if they will, or maybe that's something you take to them even.
we were actually part of the discussion at the Route 50 corridor. A lot of the municipalities were using what we had given
I think it's a great
as a
idea.
guide.
Yeah.
But we can definitely send it to ICMA as well, to have them take a look at it, to see if they have anything else they could recommend. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Conferences and workshops, discuss attendance at the annual Allegheny County and Western Pennsylvania Associates of Township Commissioners Joint Fall Conference being held at the Doubletree in Cranberry on October 23rd, 2026 to October 24th, 2026. Registration opens on July 15th. Fees are expected to be approximately $375 per person for registration and meal plan, with an optional $50 per person for a networking reception. No lodging accommodations are required. This year, they're trying to do just a smaller, less lengthy conference that will be mostly all day Friday, starting in the morning, and then with like a half a day on Saturday. Trying to see if they tighten that schedule up a little bit, if it's better attended. So. But again, that's in Cranberry. So if anybody is interested in attending, maybe reach out to Denise and see. We do have money in the budget still left for conferences, so it's up to you guys. All right, public comments on items not listed on the agenda. We do have a new resident in the audience. Come on up. Again, just introduce yourself and state your address for us.
Yeah, my name is Bill Bosley. My address is 2339 Old Green Tree Road. So right up the street, essentially. I actually was born in Pittsburgh and went to Mount Lebanon High School, but I haven't lived here permanently since the fall of 71. But I have a lot of family here, so I've been coming back for the past 5.5 decades, frequently, many times during each year. And I bought a townhouse there on Old Green Tree Road. And one of the things that I've discovered is the intersection where Oak Hollow, Swallow Hill, Green Tree Road, and Old Green Tree Road. If you guys are familiar with that.
We are.
That is a disaster. Now, I also want to tell you that I'm a physician assistant, spent 13 years in a level 1 trauma center and the rest of my career in surgery. And so I'm very into preventive medicine, if you will. And just the other day, for instance, when I was coming down Green Tree Road and wanted to turn in, somebody had drifted beyond the white line and I could hardly get by them. And so it seems to me a simple fix would be to put up one of these signs that just say, I took a picture of one here just the other day.
Stop here on red.
Stop here on red, and move the white line back about at least 1 car length. My SUV is about 16 feet and it's a good car length from the white line where the stop is now. But again, people drift beyond it. I've noticed from the less than 3 weeks that I've been here. I don't know how complicated that is to do, but it would seem to me not that difficult and something that would help save a lot of people grief.
We would have to approach the state because it is a state road. However, we can, if the board agrees, we can put the request in and see what they would want to do.
The only thing with moving a stop bar, we'd have to make sure the light still detects. Because after rush hour, that goes into a detect mode.
Is there anything that I could do personally too to help move that along as far as, I mean, you guys said you can talk to the state, but should I talk to my representative, anybody like that?
Yeah, and it does help if you write a letter or an email to me. That way the state does see that there's interest.
Citizens or, yeah, okay.
Do you know Dan Deasy? He's the state representative.
No, like I said, I just moved back less than 3 weeks ago. So,
His office is on Green Tree Road, right by Ace Hardware.
oh, I know exactly where that is. What's his last name?
Easy.
ASEY.
I think he was.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about that, yeah. Okay,
But if you also want to send me an email, that would be fine.
well,
It's Gerald
I'll tell them to do so.
at scotttownship.com. So there's 3 T's in there. That's all written out. It's a long email.
yeah, okay. What your first name is?
Denise.
Oh, okay, put the whole,
It's just D Fitzgerald.
oh, the letter D,
Yeah.
okay.
Dan is really great. He's been a big help to
He's
us
helpful
in
too.
Scott Township. Yep, for sure.
Great, all right. Well, thank you. And you want me to sign my name here too?
If you
Yes.
don't mind,
Not
yeah.
at all, not at all.
We appreciate you coming in tonight.
Yes, well, thank you.
Welcome to Scott Township.
Jane, are you his,
Thank you.
are you his commissioner?
Yes, I actually had to look it up, and with those ward things, you have to have almost a microfiche reader to be able to figure out what you are. But yeah, Jane is my commissioner.
Nice.
See, Ward 2 is fine.
It is. Sure. Well, you've come and met us now, so if you ever need anything.
Right, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, do we have anything else for public comments? Nothing online? All right, we'll go on to commissioners' requests. Don, anything for
I have nothing.
Eileen?
Nothing.
Nick?
I think we should give Mike a medal for doing the minutes for this meeting. Thank you I know it's gonna be tough, but thank you.
In advance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jane, anything for tonight?
Well, I just wondered, Mark, have you heard anything more about the Westlock house next to me on Lindsay? The grass is getting high, weeds are growing.
Yeah, nothing new on that.
All right. I was hoping.
We can.
You can always hope.
It's getting there. And I'm thinking if you waited a week or so and then when the rain stops, you know, cut again for a while.
Yeah.
Sam, anything for tonight?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Marie, 1639 Birdwood, part of that project back there, looks like the restoration wasn't done yet. It's strange because all the other ones, the grass is there, it's starting to come in, it's green, but this one,
Okay.
it's like, it touched and
You will
still
check
has
it.
crops and stuff. She was very nice about it, that's still going on. Then the first intersection coming into my ward on Vanadium, I want to say that's Borland, right, Denise?
Yeah.
Bottom of your hill.
Mhm.
Couple of residents made comments about making the left from Borland going up the hill, going on to Vanadium. It's like almost impossible to see. I don't know if there was ever a mirror there at any point in time, or if that's something that we could look at. I know those are disfavored. Or is anything that we could do potentially about that intersection? I know it's not a stop sign or anything like that, any of that, but if there's anything, make that a little bit better. If not, that's all. Just a couple of
Maybe
things about that.
talk to the chief, see if he has any recommendations.
What was the turning maneuver you were questioning?
Taking a left from Borland onto Vanadium, they can't really see the cars coming up Vanadium and, they're coming in decent rate of speed up that little hill into the neighborhood.
You pretty much have to gun it.
Yeah, you're taking your life in your hands, scooting across there. So that's all. Thank you.
Michelle, anything for tonight?
Nope, John actually took care of the one thing I wanted to say.
Okay, thanks. Kathy, anything for tonight?
Nothing. Thank you.
And I have nothing for tonight. We do have an executive session, but we do not need to leave the meeting open for that. So unless there's anything else, could I get a motion, please, to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Lean, a second, without Sam. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
nays? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.